So Caleb Plant loses a split decision to Armando Resendez last night. That has to be a very tough loss for him to accept. He has the big fight with Jamal Charlo in place, and he blew it last night. He really did. He blew it. Congratulations to Armando Resendez. He put up a valiant effort. Uh, you know, he came in prepared. He came in shape, and he won the fight. He clearly won the fight. I scored at 7-5. I do think that Caleb Plant, once again, he always starts fast, right? He usually is going to win the early rounds, and he started to fade again. And this is an issue he's been having for a while now. And it's kind of odd to me because he's a pure boxer, and he looks like he takes the sport very seriously. Always looks like he's in shape. He never looks drained for a fight. I never heard rumblings of him not being in shape. So, it's kind of odd that he always seems to, fade toward the end of fights. But no excuses, no excuses at all. In my opinion, a lot of people are throwing out a lot of, he lost because he didn't take him seriously enough. He's thinking about the Jamal Charlo fight, all of these excuses. But, one person who's not, using that as excuse is Caleb Plant. Let's take a listen.
Caleb, congrats on a hard-fought fight. Throughout the week, when you spoke of Resendez, you talked about stepping on him. Did you, in retrospect, underestimate or overlook him at all in this fight?
No, I knew it would be a tough fight, and that's one thing. People try to say that about Trevor as well. And one thing, maybe the boxing media, but for sure the boxing fans are going to have to start understanding is it's not a popularity contest. So just because a man doesn't have a million followers or isn't always in the limelight doesn't mean that he's not a good fighter. And I knew Resendez was going to be a tough fight. I knew what was on my hands, and I didn't overlook him. Brad, my dad, Rich, Tony, none of us overlooked him. We knew it was going to be a tough fight, and that's what I'm in the business of. Is taking those fights that are going to push me, taking the fights that are going to give me good experience that I can take into the next fight. But no, I definitely didn't overlook him. I knew it was going to be a tough fight.
See, and this is one of the things I've always loved about Caleb Plant. He always takes his loss like a man, and he never, makes excuses at the end of the day. The better man won tonight. He said he prepared, he did what he had to do, and, now we got to see what we're going to do next. Now, what he said in this post-fight press conference was very interesting. Let's take a listen to that also.
Are you tempted, Caleb, to try to run this one right back, or would you like to go to Charlo, given who you are in the sport?
I'm down for anything. I'd go right into the Charlo fight, but we got a rematch clause, so I'm more than willing to run it right back.
So that's very interesting. He has a rematch clause against Armando Resendez in place. So, that also lets you know that he knew he was in tough. He was in for a tough fight, and that further lets me know that he was actually taking this fight seriously, right? So all the people that keep saying he wasn't taking it seriously, listen, he ain't gonna put it in no rematch clause if he didn't think that this could be a very difficult fight. And if he thought this was gonna be a difficult fight, he definitely was gonna train his ass off to make sure he won, right? So let's stop all the excuse making, right? Let's stop all that. Now, should he fight Jamal Charlo next? I say no. Let Jamal Charlo, he's been inactive anyway. He takes on another guy, and we'll see how he looks in another fight. I do think Jamal Charlo needs some more work. I wasn't that impressed with him last night. Let them get their rematch, Resendez and Caleb Plant. If Caleb Plant gets his lick back against Armando Resendez, then I think it would be a better time for the Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo fight to happen.